The mission right now is to try to get some more content on this channel, so I may have to try experimenting with some new ideas. I still have some more plans for the usual long-form content I've been putting out, but those videos take a while for me to edit. So instead of talking about an entire game, let's talk about specific parts of a game. Anything from the music, the presentation, the levels, or whatever ideas come to mind. Then I came up with the idea of discussing levels I thought were just terrible. Not because they were hard, but because they were boring, a slog, cryptic, or just not very fun at all. Even the best games of all time have that one level that everybody hates. So today, we're talking about Plok. Again. And we're looking at that one creepy level. Accurately named, Creepy Forest. Just to give you a quick recap of the plot, some dude stole one of Plok's flags, so Plok goes to an island to violently murder them for their transgressions. And upon his return, his entire island is conquered by fleas, and this drives Plok into a bloodlust that can only be quenched by rendering everything on the island extinct. Not just the fleas, everything must die. The spider, the giant rock dude, the townsfolk, the cops that try to arrest you, the National Guard, the Marines, the President, God himself. I may have exaggerated a little bit, but if Plok 64 ever comes out, that would make for an excellent follow-up. So you murder everything in sight. You eventually wind up in this forest, the subject of today's video. And yeah, this level sucks. So what about this level that makes it suck? Well, it has nothing to do with the goal of the level. You still have to kill all the fleas in order to retrieve the flag at the end, so it's no different from the rest of the levels in acrylic. You get a present right at the start, and it's the flamethrower Plok.
The flames of my rage will incinerate you.
You still have to wake up the fleas to kill them. I still stand by my previous statement about how punching eggs and incinerating them doesn't accelerate the birth of the things inside them. Do chickens grow faster when you punch their eggs? That's not how it works. These things should be dead. And Plok running around the forest with the flamethrower? No. Everything in that forest is dead. And the music slaps, of course. Every song in Plok is the best song in Plok. Even the levels I hate have the best music. All credited to the two superhumans who composed some of the greatest chiptunes for some of the most mediocre and terrible retro games ever. The Fallen Brothers. Jeff and Tim Fallen. Compared to the rest of the soundtrack, this is the most foreboding and the most experimental. Not just from a composition standpoint, but an example of what a bunch of mad scientists with 5 channels of audio could do. Because there are some songs that do some weird time signature shenanigans. You couldn't convince me this was 5 channels of DSP audio unless I looked inside the actual ROM, cleverly mixing chords instead of single notes to compensate, and putting the echo in the same channel as well. And of course the way they fuck with the samples to make it sound extra creepy. It's like if you put on a King Crimson song and then suddenly, the edibles kick in. This soundtrack still impresses me after all these years. The Creepy Forest shares music with the Flea Pit levels towards the end. And we could make about 6 more videos about the Flea Pit, because finding another human being who actually owns this game is easier than those damn levels. As soon as you start the level, you're greeted by this revolving door. It has spikes on the other side. You have to wait for the door to slow down so you can walk through it. When it speeds up, it starts rotating in the opposite direction. If you start feeling ballsy, you can definitely walk through it going the opposite way, or bide your time. And you are going to be doing a lot of waiting. Lots and lots and lots of waiting. Because these bastards are in every corner of this level. They went overboard with these damn things. Some areas have flowers that spit at you, so you have to pay attention to the doors while the flowers fuck with you. And sometimes you just get that urge to just walk through the spikes because your patience will probably run thin. If you're lucky, you can skip the giant flowers if the doors rotate in your favor, but they can still shoot at you from off screen. The creepy forest is just riddled with these giant-ass flowers. The biggest threats in the level. They spit smaller flowers at you, and those flowers spit bullets at you. These things are the Plok equivalent of the pain elementals. Everybody's favorite Doom enemy. It could be worse. If this forest was filled with archviles. It's best we don't think about that. So you have to be careful where you stand because all the flowers shoot at your location. This game loves to keep you on your toes. You Madden players wouldn't last 5 minutes in Plok. So you kill one, it drops this yellow thing that heals you up. There's no punchable fruit in this level, unfortunately. Who would even think to punch the fruit anyway? That's not even the weirdest thing about Plok. Some of these things take you to the bonus levels if you punch them enough. The level starts to get shitty with these flowers. Before I can make the red man pissed and unleash the screw attack, the game gets smart and hides them. I can't one-shot them anymore, and I can't feast upon their delicious innards to regain health either. If you thought you could just take the hit, get healed up, then take another hit to bypass the wait time on the doors, they thought of that too. The platforming isn't too bad here. The lanterns aren't so small that I could fall through them, and Plok himself has some of the best jumping in a platformer I've ever played. Still to this day. I've never fallen through the floor, or had some weird collision glitch in the time I've played Plok. Real hardware or emulation. It still has that weird level skip bug, but it handles smooth nonetheless. If you miss a jump in Plok, it was probably your own fault. But if you miss a jump in this level, you fall to the bottom. And if you fall to the bottom, you have to climb back up. Which means more of this. A good level should test your abilities, not your goddamn patience. There's a spot you're actually supposed to fall down into, but it's after that one treacherous gap that forces you to backtrack if you fall. Unless one of those stupid arrows shows up, which they hardly ever do, you're going to look at this deep chasm and think it's going to set you back. Because it's a deep chasm. But you have to take the plunge because it's the intended path. Now for the best part. We're here. We made it to the end of the level. Just 3 more fleas to kill in this last vertical shaft. These bastards always jump around, and depending on the actual terrain of the level, the fleas can be a bit difficult to catch at times. But this part, if you fall to the ground here, you just screwed yourself. You fall down and you have to drag your ass back up to reach the fleas. Which means, you guessed it, you lost a full minute of your life. Again. Why not just wait for them to come down? Because they don't. They don't move if they're off screen. Despite them being hatched 2 minutes ago, they have already outsmarted you. At least when you retrieve a flea flag, it restores your health. I don't know the science behind it, it just works. Once it's all over, you get to fight the bullet hell spider, then creepy crag, which can also be a tedious level because of all the forking paths you have to fly into. And it also has killer bees the size of baseballs.
Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey!
But yeah, the creepy forest sucks. But the creepy forest isn't all bad. It has a kick-ass spooky aesthetic and some awesome music. Plok just excels in presentation. I want more creepy levels. I want my games to do a complete 180 and just go, fuck it. Have some childhood trauma. You can actually skip this level if you feel inclined. This can be a completely optional level if you choose. Just punch this fruit up here in the level prior, then haul ass on your unicycle, and you go straight to the spider fight. But like most things in Plok, they don't make it easy at all. Because the timer is incredibly strict here. There's like no room for error here. And platforming on a unicycle. I would just lie down and let the fleas take my island at this point. However, the creepy forest is just a test of patience. It's not fun to just stand and wait. And it's not fun to stand and wait for the entire level. I get a bit impatient when I have to put my controller down until I can move again. I wouldn't even consider this one of the longest levels in the game. There's much longer ones before and after the forest. But if you took all the doors out, it would be one of the shortest levels in acrylic. It's not easy. It's not hard. It's just a tedious slog. I think the worst crime a level could commit, in my opinion, is just being boring. Put as many invisible blocks in your level. I don't care. Make your levels interesting first. Be creative. No pain elementals either. Okay, maybe one archvile. The brothers Jeff and Tim were responsible for the soundtracks of not just my childhood, but the childhoods of many gamers out there. And I uploaded an hour-long compilation of their music in honor of the late Jeff Fallen, who unfortunately passed away this year. Thank you, Jeff Fallen. Rest in peace, you absolute legend.